Back on the show is Myron Dennis, who's got a huge fight coming up here this Friday against Ryan Spann at LFA 27. Myron, what's going on? How are you?
I'll tell you how I'm doing. Look at this hair.
It's fierce.
How's it look like I'm doing?
I think you're looking pretty good, man. Seems like in good spirits. You got the you're looking all fresh and all that, which you have to be going into a big fight like this. And we'll talk about that in a sec, man. But first, let's talk about your last fight. You're coming off a first round TKO win over Brandon Groom at Extreme Fight Night 3-4-3. How happy were you with your performance in that fight?
I was pretty happy. We've been that was our second knockout in a row. I had a kickboxing match before that, so pretty much we're just trying to keep the streak going. And like I said, I got another fight coming up this week, and so we're trying to make this our third knockout in a row.
Yeah, and it's a big fight. I mentioned it off the top there. This is the co-main event. You're going to be taking on Ryan Spann, who everyone's pretty familiar with, top prospect. How do you feel like you match up against him in this fight?
I think they actually got me as the underdog in this fight. I think they're probably watching a lot of old film, probably from The Ultimate Fighter, my last LFA fight, stuff like that. I think he's more of a jiu-jitsu guy. Especially when he's going to go against me. So he's definitely going to feel that pressure and want to put me up against the cage and take me down. And if he does, he's most likely going to get knocked out.
And did you watch his performance on the Contender Series at all?
Yeah, I watched the Contender Series. He went against a kickboxer who's pretty good, and pretty much the same thing. He felt that kickboxing pressure. He tried to take him down, and it didn't work out for him. He ended up getting knocked out in the first round. With some pretty nasty elbows.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, he needs this bounce back fight. You're coming into this with some momentum. And as far as your training camp and everything, who are some of the main people you've been working with helping you get ready for this fight?
Mainly my brother Myron Dennis, as always, and my teammates at Academy Martial Arts, Kendrick Coleman. I go every now and then down there to Mark Beecher, and I go down to Stephen Wright in Dallas. So just a little bit of everywhere.
Excellent. Getting a bunch of different looks, which is great. How's the weight cut going, getting down to 205 for this one?
It's always going to suck because it's a weight cut, but it's not too bad, actually. I actually woke up at 229 today, which is actually pretty good for me. And this actually, I don't know, this might be my last year fighting at 205. We'll see. I don't really want to fight at heavyweight because those guys are going to be cutting down from 300 and, be really tall. But I'd really like to dabble in that 225 division if they ever get that going.
Interesting. Okay. And did you survive Halloween last week? I know there's always the candy going around. It's kind of tough this time of year, right?
Yeah, definitely. I couldn't take my my yearly candy taxes out my kid's bucket like I normally can. So that's another reason I'm gonna move up in weight. Well, I don't want to be missing holidays, birthdays, stuff like that.
Yeah, and you should just put that in the freezer, and then you can have it after the fight. That would be the good strategy. Then you still get your tax, right?
Yeah, but no, they're little piranhas. They're gonna get it all.
They'll find it and just take it. Yeah, you can't win that way. So 225, that's sort of the ideal home. Is there any sort of organizations that will do a weight class like that? I know there's I've heard rumblings of certain organizations doing that, but is there anyone specifically that's doing that?
It's just pretty much up to any promoter if they want to put that fight on. I know I can get that fight a lot in Tulsa, Oklahoma at Extreme Fight Night under Del Apollo Cook. So, I'm just looking, whoever wants to fight at 225, we can get it going next year.
Yeah, it's certainly, it's a big discrepancy between 205 and obviously the heavyweight limit. So you make a good case there. How do you sort of see this fight ending on November 10th coming up here this Friday?
Like you can never, especially with like last night, all the upsets, you can never really know what's going to happen in a fight. But the good thing is I'm never worried about winning or losing. I'm just worried about coming out there 100%, 100 miles per hour. And if I crash and burn, I'd rather it be in the first round than a long, drawn-out decision. So, but I've been replaying the fight in my head a lot, and for some reason I keep landing it in sparring, and I see a head kick knockout in the first round. So I'd really like to get that going.
Where do you feel like a win over Ryan Spann puts you? Because again, people have been familiar with him for a while. He's been sort of on the regional scene for a bit. I'd imagine this is a pretty, be a nice win on your resume if you get it here.
Yeah, it'd be a good it'd be a good name to have on my record. It's two prospects fighting each other, so it's going to make a good fight. And anytime you get two athletic light heavyweights, it's going to make for a good fight. And we got a little beef going on because we were supposed to fight earlier this year, but he had to pull out for some reason and ended up deciding to talk smack on Twitter instead. And so now that the fight's back on, he's being pretty quiet. But we'll see him this Friday. He's got to come see me.
Where are you looking to fight after this? You mentioned Extreme Fight Night. They've been pretty good to you as far as giving you fights and everything. Is that sort of the plan, or are you looking to go to the Contender Series? What's sort of the game plan after this?
Yeah, I'd definitely like to go on the Contender Series, and it's in the same gym as the
Ultimate Fighter,
Ultimate
where
Fighter.
you're on. Yeah, exactly.
That's pretty cool. So it's kind of like that same atmosphere. But I'm not in any rush. Like the UFC contenders, they're always going to be there. I'd like to go back into glory, get some more kickboxing matches. So I'd also like to build my boxing career. So right now I'm just having fun, fighting as often as I can, wherever I can.
Before I let you go, you mentioned your brother, DeMario. He had a fight against Alex Nicholson, and I saw some updates on your Facebook about him potentially taking something, or was some controversy heading into the fight. What exactly happened there? I wanted to get your side of the story on that.
It was just basically me popping off at the mouth without knowing the facts. But he's still one of those guys that can catch these hands because we got a little beef going too. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to fight that or set that fight up next year. And he's one of those guys who thinks he's better than what he is, so he can come catch these hands if he thinks he's really that good.
Where did this beef sort of start? Because it seemed like even heading into that fight, there were some issues with him. I know, he said a lot of pretty derogatory things, when he was in the UFC. Is that where it comes from, or is it just other stuff that sort of got under your skin?
No, it's just kind of this new hunger I got. Like next July is going to be 10 years I've been doing this. So anytime like anybody near my weight class, if I got a feeling we're going to fight or if we are fighting, I'm not going to show you any respect. I'm going to be taking you out, and that's just how it's going to be. It's nothing personal. It's just business.
Gotcha. Before I let you go, what are you watching on Netflix right now, or TV in general? What would I find you watching these days?
Man, okay. So I missed the fights last night because me and my wife decided to stay in and finish up on Stranger Things season 2. So I'm on I got one episode left in that. I just finished Rick and Morty season 3. I just finished Hell on Wheels series, and so I'm trying to find a new series that I need to start watching.
Excellent. How is Stranger Things? I've heard really good things about it. No pun intended.
It's like it's kind of cool. It's cool for kids to watch too because it's kind of like goosebumps for grown-ups, and it's just a little. It's pretty strange. It's weird. You definitely gotta like sci-fi, but it's a little slow at sometimes. But starting out, but this second season, oh my gosh, it's so entertaining.
Okay, good stuff. I'll have to check that out. I've seen season 1, but season 2 I haven't dived into yet, but I'm hearing some great things, and I definitely like your recommendation. Yeah. And I certainly am looking forward to this fight coming up here on Friday. It's LFA 27. It's going to be live on Access TV. Myron, thanks again for taking the time, man. Just remind people where they can find you on social media, and if you got any sponsors or shout-outs, the floor is yours.
Yeah, you can follow me on Instagram. That's where I do most of my posting at 123 Low Kick. You can also add me on my Facebook fan page. My sponsors, I'd like to thank Turf House, my CBD sponsor, helping me throughout this weight cut. I'd like to thank GFY Gear. They're sending me some new kickboxing gear that's been making my striking practices a lot better. Boneface Fight Gear, they're making me some sick shorts. I'm gonna have some Rick and Morty themed shorts, so that's gonna be pretty sweet. But all my training partners, everybody who's helping me spar. And most of all, Ryan Spann for making the fight this time.